sweat and tears, there really isn't much left to say that hasn't been said already. 3 years ago, I sat in that section right over there during orientation, and I remember it incredibly vividly because there was a guy who sat at the end of the row in front of me that fell asleep and started snoring loudly. I knew at that moment this was going to be a very interesting experience. And I promise I will do my best to make sure I am not the cause of a repeat performance. To the distinguished guests joining us here today, thank you very much. We're honored that you're here. To the student body, I get a lot of pride in telling people that Hofstra law is filled with competitors but not adversaries. And there is a camaraderie that you've heard about already that exists here that just doesn't exist anywhere else. So I personally would like to thank each and every one of you for making the last few years of my life some of the most amazing and memorable. So thank you. On behalf of the student body, I'd like to thank the faculty for their tireless effort over the last few years in the course of our education. We've been very privileged to benefit from your experience and your knowledge and mostly your patience. And there are so many professors and administrators that have touched the lives of every single one of the graduating class. But a few months ago, the Hofstra Law family lost one of its finest, Professor Monroe Friedman. Professor Friedman was a juggernaut in the area of constitutional law. And in one of his final acts, he presided over a reading of a book that he co-authored entitled, How Do You Represent Those People? In that act, he showed us, as lawyers, maybe one of the most profound lessons that we could possibly learn, in that the law works for everyone or it works for no one. Thank you, Professor Friedman. Thank you to the entire faculty and staff of the Hofstra Law family. Thank you. And lastly, to the friends and family who are with us here today. And you. There's something you may not know about law school, in that we have a saying that no person exists on an island. We all learn from one another. We're all very interconnected. So by supporting your loved one throughout this entire law school process, you have had a very direct and real impact on the lives of every single one of us. So it's for that reason that all of us thank all of you for being with us today. I've been a lawyer for approximately 15 minutes now, so I am far from qualified to give any advice on the practice of law. However, I would like to repeat some advice that was given to me by two people far wiser and far smarter than I am, my parents. When I was 7, my dad sat me down and said, David, knowledge is power. I had no clue what he was talking about. None. But he wanted me to remember this so badly that he actually went to the computer and printed out signs that said, knowledge is power, and then proceeded to hang them around the house. This is a totally true story. So if you can picture this, I'm trying to get ready to go to elementary school. I wear shoes that light up as I walk, but in order for me to get to them, I need to lift up a sign that says, knowledge is power. It wasn't until years later that I truly understood what he meant. And what helped me figure it out was this. For those of you who can't see, this is my mother's wooden spoon. She's the one crying over there, screaming, I'm going to kill him. Anyone who's grown up in an Italian household will tell you that this inanimate object in the right hands with the right knowledge has some true power. It managed to take 2 boys and turn them into men. It has made unbelievable meals that feed god-awful amounts of people. And Most importantly, it can fix any electronic device in the house using what I like to call impact maintenance. But in reality, what this really represents to me is my mother's ability to not only raise a family, but do it while she gets a degree with honors from this very university. She spent her entire teaching career teaching people in impoverished and disenfranchised areas how to look at the world through different eyes using art. So now that I understand what is meant by knowledge is power, I'd like to change that just slightly and say that knowledge is magic. Now, I'm not saying that we should practice love with a wooden spoon, although if I could get away with it, I would totally do it. But we have an equally powerful object at our disposal: a pen. With a pen and the knowledge that we now possess, we can quite literally change the world. We're capable of helping people adopt children or buy a house. We're capable of defending the Constitution or merging multinational corporations. We're even capable of helping people fulfill their wishes long after they've passed on from this life. That's nothing short of magic. With a pen and the knowledge that we now possess, we understand that we can participate in the conversation. And the law, in its most basic form, is an evolving language. We can participate in this conversation because of the professionalism and integrity that has been instilled in us by our professors during the time here. That impact can already be felt. Among the collective graduates here today, we have public defenders and defense attorneys. We have state and federal court clerks. We have associates at firms of all sizes, and we have people in fields too numerous to mention. In the future, those seated here will be congressmen, leaders, general counsels. These will be the people who take up the reins of leadership in our society. So I know I romanticize the law, and I do, but it's because I know the individuals in this room. I'm proud to now call them colleagues. So if you want to believe the way I do and see things through my eyes, then keep your eyes on the class of 2015. I guarantee you are going to see something truly magical. Thank you.